morning, soon to be afternoon. We'll just type that here. And see what happens. So we got a couple of people checking in. Or maybe it's just me. There was another person here and now they're gone. It's a good thing I'm not self-conscious, I guess. I'm resisting my urge to sing along with the intro music as a public service. Type in the comments where you are from. It's nice to know who's here. Well, bon appetit. Thank you. I had my lunch before the broadcast today, so I would be full of energy, and I am. In fact, I had probably one of the best pork chops that I've ever had, and it came from this meal service called Freshly, where they send you these pre-prepared by a chef meals, and all you do is throw them in the microwave for about usually 2.5 to 3.5 minutes, and then you let them set for 2 minutes. Let the heat distribute, I guess, and you tear off the clear plastic cover and eat them. And today was a pork chop, and it was really good. It was thick and tender and moist and yummy. So I like to support local restaurants, but seems like the local restaurants with reasonable prices are all serving Mexican food, so I don't want to get too carried away on Mexican food. And here's Carolyn. Very well put, Carolyn. It is a journey for sure, and not one that is accomplished in a day. I'm sure there's a quote there somewhere, but I'm not sure what it is. So great to have you. And let's see, we got 3 minutes. It looks like so it's, as I mentioned before, it's hard to get the countdown timer to be accurate because of the delay between when I say something or type something and when it appears. How to cut a piece out of a voice memo. Okay, hi Anne. So Doriana, look at QuickTime. So that's probably the easiest way to do it. So play with that a little bit and then let me know what you figure out, and we'll figure out some more. So QuickTime is a program that comes with every Mac, and it does have some video and audio editing features, very basic, just like I use it to trim off the countdown timer. When I put these up on YouTube, I cut off the countdown timer, so you will miss all this chatter when you don't watch live. So don't miss this, for crying out loud. But QuickTime is quite a utility, and it comes free with every Mac. So it's one of the reasons why Macs are really not that expensive, because they include so much high caliber software that you have to buy on Windows machines. Yes, I know that you can hear me talking, and you can also hear my phone go off when a VIP calls me. So the whole idea of me talking behind the music is to entertain you. So you're not just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. No thumb twiddling around here. Hello, Leslie Ann. Welcome. Okay, minute and 30 seconds on my end. So I will get there. Hello, Phyllis. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. So we got lots of interesting things to talk about today. There's a meeting tonight that I'm going to invite you all to. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about that. And that'll be another opportunity to learn more about how this miracle of Mac technology can work for you. Because that's what we do. Help you master the technology in hand. I'm still working on my tagline, so if you have any better ideas, I've got to stop using one where it has you in it too many times. So 30 seconds coming up now. Okay, yes it is iPug. It's iPug, P-U-G, by the way. I'm reading Phyllis's comment here. Well, I'll read it together. What the heck? So, oh, hi, look at that. Here we are. So Phyllis asks, as we get going here, well, it's not going to work red on red. So let's bring that up again. They time out in 15 seconds. I don't know why I have that in red. I'll have to fix that. Okay, so you want to know how to shortcut to delete, which uses a shift command, a keyboard command, along with delete. Oh, yeah. So when you want to delete something, except in Mail, so in Mail, you just hit the delete key. That's all you have to do. Everywhere else, it's Command Delete. Okay, hold down the Command key, tap the Delete key. Command Delete. I think that's the answer to your question, Phyllis. And okay, and Leslie Ann says, why can't apps on the iPad, iPhone, and website be the same? They're different. Yeah, well, so that's a good question. One of the reasons is that they're different platforms. However, that is changing. They are merging. And so they are getting more and more similar as time goes by. So that is something that is being taken care of. Okay, and look who's here. It's T-Mug and President Bob Wood. We're going to talk more about Bob later in the program. So let's get on with the show. So here we have our iPhone, and this, by the way, is an iPhone 6s Plus running iOS 14. So the current version of iOS is iOS 13. So I am on the public beta version, and if anything goes wrong, it's not my fault, it's the public beta's fault. But I've run through what I'm going to show you, and we shouldn't have any problem. So remember, there are no stupid questions. Plus, when you ask a question, you're helping somebody else that may have had that same question or had never thought about that and learned something new anyway. So we're going to talk about how to adjust your iPhone, your iPad, and hopefully we'll have time to look at the Mac so you can see the text better. So we're going to go on our iPhone into Settings. And we are going to look, so this is what Settings looks like when you first get into it. So we want to scroll down, which you do by pushing your finger up, a little counterintuitive, I realize. And you see there at the top of the screen, it says Display and Brightness. We tap on that. So we're going to just go through this whole page because it all has to do with increasing the readability of your iOS and iPad screen. So whatever I'm telling you on the iPhone also applies to the iPad. So the first choice we have is appearance. You can have the standard light appearance, which has been with us for many years, or you can go to the relatively new dark appearance. So as you can see in the dark appearance, it's white text on a black background, and on the light appearance, it is black text on a white background. So whatever looks better to your eyes is the one you should use. And a lot of people like the dark background at night. So Apple has taken care of that. So down below here, you see we've got automatic turned on. If we turn that off, we lose that option below, which lets us decide when the dark background will come on. So when we click on that, we get two choices. One, it will be light during the sunshiny part of the day, and it'll be black during the nighttime. Or you can tell it exactly what you want. So you can put in the time that you want to have it turn back, in this case in the morning, to white. So let's say we want to put it back at 6 o'clock. So there it is, 6 o'clock. And now it's going to turn white at 6, and it's going to turn dark at 9. So does that make sense? Okay, Anne, I see your question, and we will get to that. So to get out of here, we're going to hit back in the upper left and go down to the next setting. So that's brightness. Now, unfortunately, the way I have the iPhone hooked up to the Mac to YouTube, you're not going to see any change in brightness here. So you'll have to trust me that when you take this little circle and you push it all the way to the left, the screen gets dimmer. And when you grab it again and push it all the way to the right, the light is blinding me. It's terrible. So normally you're going to have it quite kind of in the middle. If you can stand it and you make it dimmer here, it will help your battery last longer. So keep that in mind. So we talked about light and dark. Now we're going to talk about night shift. Working the night shift. Okay, no singing. So night shift is a little different. So you can see here we have night shift set to from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. If we want to change that, we simply tap on that and we can turn off our schedule. We can adjust it. So when the schedule is off and we adjust it, it just stays that way all the time. And again, you can't see these changes because of our interface. So more warm means less blue light, less warm means more blue light. So again, the blue light is what is possibly interfering with our sleep. And that's what it does. So now, so the manually enable until tomorrow means you could set it down here in your color temperature, and if you turn manually enable until tomorrow, then it would go back to its regular schedule. So that's just a temporary change. But let's say we'd like to have this on autopilot, automatic. And so you can see I have it set here from 9 to 6. Again, if I tap on that time, I do have the choice again of sunset to sunrise. And if I wanted to turn that on, let's say at 5:50, there it is. I just change it and turn it off at 6 a.m. So, any questions about night shift? To get out of night shift, we click up here in the upper left, and we click back in the upper left again, and we go down to our next feature in the display and brightness page, and that's auto lock. So you notice that it says auto lock 3 minutes. Is that too much? Is that not enough? So here are the choices. You can go from 30 seconds until the phone locks itself up to never. Of course, never is probably never a great idea unless you have one specific purpose for it to be on always, because it'll run down your battery faster. So you can choose 5 minutes, you can choose 4, 3, 2, 1 minute. And let's just keep it here on 5 minutes for this little demonstration. So that means that the screen will stay active for 5 minutes and then it'll automatically lock. And of course, when it locks, then that means you have to unlock it to use the phone. So if the phone is locking up faster than you want, this is the place to go to fix that. So we go to the upper left-hand corner, we click on back, and we go down to the main feature we were talking about today, and that is text size. So maybe you've been saying, gee, that text on that iPhone screen is awfully small. That's because we have the text size. If you look at the very bottom, you see the scale down there, and on the far left, you see the white circle. So that is the smallest text that you can have. So if we grab the circle, put it in the middle, so that is the default text size. So you saw that it got bigger. And then if we want to make it bigger yet, we take it all over way to the right, and it's even bigger. So as you see the little note in the bottom left-hand corner, larger sizes are available in accessibility settings. We're not going to go into that today, but if you're interested in that, we can do that in a future episode. So keep those cards and letters coming in. So we've made this bigger. So the larger text size is good news, bad news. The good news is you can read it easier. The bad news is you have less information on your screen. So you end up doing more scrolling up and down and off to the right to see everything that's on the screen, because the screen has gotten smaller because the text has gotten bigger. So keep that in mind when you are making the text bigger. Let's go up to the upper left-hand corner where it says back. We'll tap back. And we missed raise to wake. So what that is simply is when that is turned on, like it is now. So when the green shows, that means on. When you lift your phone up to your face or up to your ear, then it turns on the screen. So if you have that turned off, then you would have to tap the screen or hit the home button, depending on which version, whether you have a touch sensitive or a face ID type phone. So, and this is another thing that can help save battery life if you turn it off. Okay, so we talked about text size. We got two more things here that affect your text. So just below text size, you see bold text. So watch the text. Watch carefully all this text. When I turn on bold text, see what happens. It got bold. Who knew? So that's what it does. So if that's easier to read for you, you might be able to, play with the text size. Say maybe put this in the middle. And when the bold is on, maybe it's easier to read without having to make the text so large. So you can kind of play with both of those and see what works best for you. And last, but certainly not least, we have display zoom here at the very bottom. So display zoom is now set to standard. We tap on standard. Then we have a choice of zoomed, and they're trying to show you the difference there. As you can see, there's not a lot of difference, but a little bit of difference. Look at when the time comes up again. Look at the difference in the size of the numerals in the time. Okay, right there. So you can see better there. So if we click on zoomed, now we have to click, and this one it's kind of tricky, you have to click on set in the upper right corner. You have to click on set to set the zoomed, otherwise the setting will not change. We click on set and it says changing zoom. We'll restart the phone. So you can take a little break here as the screen goes black. Well, my screen went black. There we go. And we're back. Okay, so now we're in the zoom mode. So now when we go back to our display and brightness, again, the change is very slight, and probably you hardly can tell if it's changed. So that may or may not be a big deal. So those are the various ways you can make your iPhone or iPad or iPod Touch more legible. So before we move to the Mac, which won't take long, do we have any questions about how to adjust your display and brightness on your iOS device? And Leslie Ann is saying you don't have zoom on your iPhone 11. Okay, I'll have to look at, well, let me look. I just happen to have an iPhone 11 right here. So let me check that real quick while anybody else is thinking of questions they might have. So I'm going into my settings on my iPhone 11, display and brightness, scrolling down to the bottom. Yeah, Leslie Ann, it's there. You have to scroll down to the bottom to see it, but it's just the same way. It looks exactly the same as what I just showed you. So you have to just scroll, push your finger up to scroll down. And that's the way that works. Okay, so good. So hopefully I explained that so well that you didn't have any questions. Okay, great. Leslie Ann found it. Yeah, some of those things you got to, you got to scroll because they don't show up right away. So don't be afraid to scroll, which is, again, a little counterintuitive. You move your finger up for the screen to go down. Okay, so we've passed our 15-minute mark, but we're going to jump into our MacBook. Oh, look, what is this graphic? This beautiful graphic. What is this graphic all about? Well, I'll tell you. Tonight at 7 p.m., the Tucson Macintosh Users Group is going to talk about iCloud sharing, syncing, and collaboration. If you'd like to join us, the easiest thing for you to do would be send an email to gofortech@mac.com. That'll be on the screen at the end, as always. And I will send you a copy of T-Mug Today, our monthly newsletter, which will have the link for the Zoom meeting beautifully displayed in a ticket graphic. So you are invited to join us. Isn't that right, Bob? Yes, Bob has seen that graphic before because Bob is the genius artist that created it. And I really like it. I really like it. So that's why it's my screen wallpaper on my MacBook Pro now, because I really like it. Okay, so we are going to go to our Apple menu, which you know is in the upper left-hand corner of your Mac screen. And we're going to go here to this second choice called System Preferences. And then our system preferences are going to finally appear. And we are going to click on Displays. So you see Displays. Now be aware that if you're in Catalina, this layout on the system preferences has changed. So don't let that throw you like it throws me every time I go. So I'm on Mojave on this computer, and Catalina on my other computer is different. But pretty much everything is there the same. One other little tip is you only have to click once when you're inside the system preferences window, whereas almost everywhere else, except the dock. And the dock and the system preferences, you just have to click once. Every place else, double click to make something happen. So I have 2 monitors. One is called the Thunderbolt display, which is an older Apple monitor. And the other one is called the built-in Retina display for, as you can see pictured here, my MacBook Pro. So this is the one we are going to look at. Another little aside here. Now, if you have a 13-inch like a MacBook Air, then you might want to consider getting a 27 or so inch monitor that you can plug into that MacBook Air, so you can have a lot more screen. You can make the fonts larger without losing a lot of stuff on your screen because you have more screen real estate. So remember that if you have a MacBook of any sort, you're not stuck with that screen. You can plug an external monitor into that. And external monitors, I've seen decent ones for like $200. So they're not real expensive, but they do make it a lot easier on your eyes. And if you are doing any kind of projects, it's a lot nicer to be able to have, one page here, like maybe you're in Pages here and you're in spreadsheet numbers over here. You can have them both on the screen at the same time. It is wonderful. So now back to our regularly scheduled program. So the default here is what we're on for the MacBook Pro display. So now when we click on scaled, looky what we got. We have choices. Excuse me. So you can see in the center here with the blue, oh wait, you can't see that, can you? Thank you for telling me that. Yes, and there is a way to dim the blue light. Good question. Well, okay, so you can see right here, well, I'll just answer that real quick here. You see, wait a minute, I'm not showing you my screen. I'm terribly sorry. We are fixing that right now. Okay. So right here, and you can see it says night shift. Right here on the other monitor, you can see it doesn't say night shift. So there's that. So we click on night shift right here. I got to click on it down here on my monitor. There we go. And again, we have the same kind of controls that we had on our iPhone. We have a custom schedule, which I set to go to night shift at 2200, which of course is 10 o'clock. I'm changing it to 2100, which is 9 o'clock. And by just clicking these little arrows, we can change it up or down. And so I've changed it. And then again, we do have the sunset to sunrise option. So I'm going to keep it on custom, and then we can again adjust it here, but that does not come through to you. But when we're clicked here on custom, then it's automatic. It'll shift to the less blue at 9 o'clock and go back to the brighter blue light at 6 in the morning. So hopefully that helps you, Anne. And okay. So one more question while we're right here. The mirroring option, when you have two monitors, the mirroring option just combines what is on one monitor to the other monitor. Now usually if you have two monitors, you want to use all that screen area, so you have different things on different monitors. So, but if you want the same thing on both monitors, you turn on mirroring. So that's what mirroring is all about. Okay, so now that you can see my screen, let's just put this over here. So you see here that we're on the default, which is the center, the blue frame around here, and you can see a representation of text. So that kind of shows you, I don't know if the resolution coming through YouTube makes that very clear, but so here you got little tiny text, which means there's more space on the screen for text and graphics. And then over here on the left, you have large text. Okay, so fasten your seatbelts, watch the screen, see what happens when we click on the larger text. And it's going to go black for a second. Okay, so you can see there that's bigger. You can also see that my screen wallpaper now is taking up more of the screen. So it is bigger. But here's a problem. The problem is that you should subscribe. Subscribe right over there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, so that we can get our custom URL so it's easier to find it. We need more subscribers. So tell your friends, your neighbors, your family to follow us on YouTube and subscribe and like these as well. Okay, so here's the problem. You have a 13-inch MacBook Air, MacBook, or even a MacBook Pro, 13-inch screen. And I have a client that's having this problem. So she goes to print in Safari. She wants to print something from like her bank, and the print dialog comes up. I can't show you this because it won't do that on my screen because I've got a 15-inch screen and a 27-inch screen. But when the print dialog box comes up where you tell it what printer and how many pages and all that, the print button is down at the bottom and the cancel button is down at the bottom, but the screen is here and the bottom is below the screen. So she cannot see those buttons. So that's a real problem. Now the workaround is, if you run into situation number one, since the print button will be blue, which means that you can activate it by hitting your return key, right, your return key. So that's solution number one. And now a little known technique that's comes from yesteryear is if you hold down the command key and tap the period, that will cancel the print dialog and not print at all. So two things to do if you can't see the print dialog or any other dialog that you know is there, but you can't see it because you have made your screen size, you made your text size bigger, which makes your screen smaller. Okay, so there's no free lunch. So anytime you know that there's something there that is going to be automatically highlighted in blue, return will activate that. And then if you want to cancel out of most things like that, command period will cancel you out. So let's see here. Okay, thank you, Bob. And okay. So there you have it. That's how you make it, the text on your devices, more readable as our eyes get older. And of course, as I mentioned in previous episodes, if you want to go back to look at, I think it's GoFor Lunch number 9, you can also get computer glasses from your eye care specialist. These are not actually computer glasses. These are blue blocking glasses, but get glasses that are designed to help you read the text on your computer and make sure and tell him or her how far that screen is. So if you've got a monitor that's arm's length away, like this one is, hello, then they need to know that so they can do that. Set that up properly. Okay, so Anne is asking, okay, and Bob is answering. Thank you, Bob. You can come anytime, Bob. Glad to have you. Okay, so a couple housekeeping things here. If you have any questions, you can email me. The email will be at the end of the program. If you would like to get the Zoom meeting credentials for the Tucson Macintosh user group tonight, where we are going, among other things, this is not the only thing we talk about, but we are going to talk about, trying to get this to clear here. We go to System Preferences and we always quit. We never hit the red dot. If you want to learn more about how iCloud can be used for sharing, syncing, and collaboration, then email gofortech@mac.com. And not only will you get the Zoom meeting link, but you'll get the whole TMUG Today newsletter. And you'll also be able to subscribe to that newsletter so you get it every month in your email box. So that's that. Did I mention please subscribe? I think I did. Okay, so have mask, will travel. So if you need help, I will come to you and I will help you. We also can share your screen and help you remotely. So two options. I'm available and willing and able to come and help you. So thanks for coming. I appreciate all the questions. That makes it much more interesting for me and everybody else. So until next Tuesday at noon, Roger Harmon, have a great rest of your day. Oh, yes, I did.